bloodline. Must be a Bengal, maybe a bobcat, maybe Egyptian Mal, because his paws definitely are shaped a little different than regular domestic cats. Their domestic cats are more sort of round, I guess you could say, and this one's Anne Mercury's, his uncle or cousin or whomever. Hey kid. Their paws are more separated and rounded, more like a hand. I don't know if you can kind of see it right there actually. They've got these big floppy hands, and that's the way they've plopped down themselves down, the way that they run, the way they jump. It's got big cat in it, you know, and I love it. He's wonderful already. I'm in love. I love his little temperament. Oh my boy. I'm so proud of you. So, isn't he beautiful? He just didn't want to be in his little box, his little bag over here. I tried to make it as comfortable as possible. I put a real fur vest in there for him, but he didn't want to be. It might have been a little too hot, maybe. Also, they pant like dogs or like big cats, and I always thought that was because they might be stressed or hot, and that's how they regulate their temperature. But actually, you know, they're not fully domesticated cats. And my friend kept finding them in the outdoors, and so look how beautiful. And he's got spots on him, like on his body in certain areas, like a leopard. So he's got big cat in him, and he'll probably be big. He's 8 weeks old, and I am so happy, and I feel so fortunate. I feel like God's grace has blessed me with forgiveness and honored me with the chance to be a cat mom again, which actually is going to make me cry a little. Just losing Mercury, I took a lot of the blame for that. Him falling from the tree, falling on those Christmas lights and breaking his neck. The way he died, I didn't know that he was going to have to be put down. I thought that he would live. And so for a whole 24 hours, he was at the vet, suffering. And in the end, I still had to pay $1,200 for the time he was at the vet with no pain medication. They didn't give him any pain management. And so the cost to put him down was like only $200 maybe. But the one day at the vet, just to be there, just to be in misery for a whole day, costed me $900. And I felt like that. I have to remind myself that it was not an injustice. It is just the way it is. I've never dealt with that before, and I was hysterical. And this time, I have a hard time believing he's going to be okay being an indoor cat, but you know, I'm going to be way more intentional and just more intuitive with him. My astrology at that time also, I knew my pets were vulnerable during that time because my astrology chart, you know, I'm a predictive astrologer with whole sign ancient systems, and it's weirdly accurate. And I just knew, the day it happened, I knew it. It was the same exact day that I had Saturn, the planet of death, squaring not only my moon in Taurus, these earth signs in the 6th house of pets, but also making a wide square to the planet Uranus, which is like sudden. So Saturn, breaking, decay, restriction, Uranus, sudden upsets, extreme, electrical. My cat literally broke his neck on an electrical line of Christmas lights on the earth, like outside in a tree. Taurus, 6th house, pets, Taurus also represents the neck. So this is extremely literal. Like, the astrology was so literal, and it was to the day, this one. And I just feel like, what kind of astrologer doesn't put their cats inside for a few weeks just to, like, I knew he was vulnerable. And I also had some activity in my second house of assets, finances, some hard aspects to that. So Jupiter was at the last degree of Capricorn, about to enter Aquarius, and Capricorn in my chart, second house, ruled by Saturn. It's about assets, money, financial expenses, property. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and it was making a conjunction to my natal, pretty wide conjunction to my natal north node of destiny, of things that I'm moving toward in this life, which is in Capricorn, responsibility. Oh, my boyfriend said he loves it already, the kitten. I texted him. Oh, or I said, I'm so happy, baby. He must mean that he loves that I'm so happy. I have a good boyfriend, guys. We're gonna have a little kitty together. I think it'll be really good. He seems excited. He's never had a cat. Anyways, yeah, Capricorn is responsibility. You know, it's like boss lady energy, really. It's planning energy. It's the person, when somebody's in jail, they call you because you know you're going to have a plan. It's mother-in-law energy, I say, like my ex-mother-in-law, who's a Capricorn, actually. And we've had some real hard times over the last decade, me and my ex-mother-in-law. Grandma is one of the oldest signs in the zodiac. It's ruled by the old planet Saturn. And Saturn, I'm like, I don't want my destiny going from Cancer, this fluid, feminine, young, vibrant, emotional, juicy sign, to Capricorn, dry, a cold, dry and cold sign. And it's in the winter time in the northern hemisphere. It's about resources. It's about sourcing those resources, storing them, holding on to things. Saturn. It's about restriction, food rationing, right? So, anyways, this was just one of those moments that made me way more responsible in life. It's about not escaping, like, people tell me, oh, it's not your fault that you're taking too much of the blame for the cat. It was just a freak accident for the kitten. But I also am to blame that I let him suffer for 24 hours. I didn't know. I fell back into my south node of past lives, of behaviors that I already have mastered, which Cancer can become hysterical, and they want to escape discomfort at any cost because they're young and vulnerable and scared. It's a young, vulnerable, scared sign. And it's about, the mother, the young, juicy, fertile mother, the virgin mother, like my old teenage self having a baby. But I'm 30 years old now. Saturn's made that full pass around the zodiac. I'm having my Saturn return. And the last 3 years with Saturn having gone over Capricorn and my North Node, man, I hated the sign of Capricorn, and I can't stand that energy, how it presents in my life and my personality and in other people. I struggle with it. I look at it like greedy energy, about controlling, domination energy. But at the same time, my soul is moving towards that. It's going that way. And this cat, my kitten Mercury, passing away, this little boy that God gave me, this little boy, after the abuse I went through, when Jupiter was passing over Pluto. Jupiter isn't always benefic. He just expands whatever he's touching. So Pluto and Jupiter had that opposition, or that conjunction. And my boyfriend, he tried to kill me in a reckless rage over money that I used of his without asking, right? And so that really messed me up. I fell into helpless victim mode after he kind of moved out. I kicked him out, actually, in a Cancer rage. And it was in that moment, in that year, that 6 months, I realized just how codependent I was. No matter how much I try to seem like I had evolved past it, or that I wasn't, I was, and I still am. I'm still working through that. And I can feel the activation of this Capricorn with Uranus approaching my North Node in a trine. This is a good thing. It's gonna bring sudden opportunities for me to be responsible in the workplace, with my money, career. You know, I'm like bossing up, right? My boyfriend was like, "Oh, you're that bitch," and I was like, "No," but deep down, yeah, that's exactly what Capricorn is. She's that bitch, and he's that bro. And his moon is in Capricorn also, and my mom's moon is in Capricorn. Catalina, my friend, moon in Capricorn. You know, there's a lot of Capricorn energy in my life, and it's all a part of, these people are making me more responsible, giving me responsibilities, holding me accountable. And also I can really feel myself. So yeah, I do take the blame for, sometimes we need to blame ourselves. Sometimes our low confidence, sometimes our low self-esteem, as they say, is a sign that you need to do something about your personality. Sometimes your low confidence or your low self-esteem isn't a bad thing. It's common sense, actually. And Capricorn is very much about common sense. You know, you think dead of winter, just picture like moving across the earth, Capricorn Earth, moving across the earth from the East Coast to the West Coast during the American westward expansion, and you're walking across the earth. It took 9 months if you stayed en route, and you were dumb if you went off route. There were people that they would get these pamphlets from, I think, snake oil salesmen. They were telling them, "Oh, take this route and take this route. I'm an explorer. I found this way or this passage that not everybody knows about. And it'll get you to California, or it'll get you to the West Coast where the gold is and the land is faster than everybody else." And it was in that eager greed to get there first, they got duped, and they would it would set them back completely, sometimes by months. And it's just like Capricorn is not the shortcut way to do things. It's the long, grueling, hard way. It's the route that's already been paved out for you. It's doing what works. What's worked in the past, we don't have energy or resources. It's winter time. We need to conserve our resources and utilize them for the best, and no waste, right? Because Saturn is rationing. It's constriction. It's restriction. You're limited of where you can go or what you can do, how much money you have. And some people, you know, a big part of my Sagittarius Gemini personality is wanting to escape and say abundance is everywhere and everything has a way of working out. And it does. But at some point, we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, my low self-esteem that other people are like, you should have higher self-esteem. You shouldn't be so hard on yourself. Yeah, you should sometimes. Sometimes you should be harder on yourself. Sometimes your low self-esteem, your low confidence, those things you're telling yourself that other people are receiving as being negative are common sense. You're actually having Capricorn, Saturn, common sense. And it's trying to tell you something, and it feels bad. It feels bad, and so you don't want to do anything about it because you're undisciplined. And Saturn is the discipline. It's the experiences that are coming in to make you more responsible. So you can look in the mirror and say, I may make the more conservative choices, like maybe keeping my cat inside, restricting the cat and not giving it to the wild, not being inspired by giving this beautiful cat to the wild where it was, and do I want that, or what do I want? Do I want my cat to die the same fate? Because that astrology is still very active for the next couple of years. And I don't want to ever feel that way again. And I don't ever want to put an animal in that situation again. And I know Saturn, Capricorn's also, a lot about control. And there are a lot of experiences in my life, people coming in that are saying, the energy is saying, take control, have control, take the control, don't lose control, don't surrender, take it. There's a feeling of being in a war right now also, where the results we won't see for a while. The consequences of today are not immediate in our awareness yet. It's also very hard to set intentions, and so we're flying by the seat of our pants every day, it feels like, and I do not like it. My personality's developing in a way that's saying, take control, be the one in a crisis that people call. That's who I am deep down. That's who I am becoming. And there's nothing wrong with that. So that was a little astrology lesson, impromptu. Sweetheart, I haven't named him yet, but I'm going to let me and my man do it. He also hates when I say boyfriend, so I don't know. He's younger than me, 24, I'm 30. You see, I feel responsible, like I have more responsibility in the relationship because he's younger. And I see something in myself, or from myself a few years ago, that I just look at it and I just go, yeah, he has some things to learn. I'm really excited to witness. I hope I get to witness the curation of his responsibilities, which he already is more mature than his age. But he's a Saturn person, faux show. Bunch of planets in Aquarius, moon in Capricorn. I really appreciate him. And I really appreciate this beautiful child of God right here. And I feel like I've reached a certain awareness and I've taken certain responsibilities for an extended period of time after that. And I think God, Christ even, is saying, here you go. There is an abundance of life available to you. There is. So cherish it. Cherish it. Give it a life in your family and take care of it. Because life is so precious. And that's all for today. Take care.